Hi everyone, welcome back to Little Shop of Nerds. I am Julia with
Mike,
Okay, so last week's hint was 37.
today we are going to talk about a Kevin Smith film for the first time on this channel. We never hardly did a Kevin Smith film. If you don't know what Kevin Smith is, he is a filmmaker. He mostly did independent filming. Now, if you have heard of him, congrats. If not, go look up some of his movies. They're funny, some are dramas. I think he has a couple that are romantic, some are horror. But either way, today's the movie we're going to be starting is the first movie he ever made called Clerks. And yes, this movie is in black and white. You can tell this was his first movie, and you can tell it's an independent film.
It was very low budget.
And I heard he had to sell his comic book collection just to make the film.
Yes. I admit I did fall asleep towards the end of the film. I been having some headache issues, so that put me to sleep while I was watching the movie. But Mike says I didn't miss much.
Well, because she only fall asleep close to the end.
Close to the end, yeah.
So you didn't really miss much.
Yeah. So for some reason I was watching it on Pluto, which it is on Pluto. But for some reason it was starting at like 18 minutes ahead. Like I couldn't like take it back to start at the beginning for some reason. So I don't know what that was all about. But so it starts off with you hear like a phone ringing, and then you see one of the main characters, Dante, falling out of his closet, and he answers his phone, and I'm assuming it's his boss saying, "Hey, we need you to come into work," and you hear him say, "I'm not supposed to work today," or "I'm not supposed to be there today," or something like that.
He says he's not, and he's like, because I'm tired, because I was sleeping. And he says, well, you need to be...
He had closed the night before, too.
Yeah. And he says, you need to be... Well, I have a hockey game at 2. I need you to be there. And the boss says he'll be there. So, Dante gets up, gets dressed, goes to the store. But the funny part, they can't open the shutters because people put gum in the lock. So he had to make a banner that says, we are open.
Yeah. So, like he was able to get one of the shutters open for the door, but for the rest of it he couldn't get open. So basically it just kind of follows Dante and this other guy named Randall as they go through their day. Randall works at the
video store
next door.
Now I feel old.
And Dante works at the convenience store. And it basically just follows like their lives throughout the day.
And there's 2 stoners outside named Jay and Silent Bob. Jay is the loudmouth asshole, and he's played by Jason Mewes. And Silent Bob, who hardly doesn't talk out through the film, he just nods and agrees sometimes. And he's played by Kevin Smith. And yet, throughout the whole film of Kevin Smith movies, Jay and Silent Bob will be in most of the films.
Yeah. So so there was a guy that came in and he asked to drink his coffee, standing inside, and Dante's like, yeah, that's fine. Well, this guy comes in and tries to buy some cigarettes. Well, the guy that's drinking the coffee just starts like putting like a lung down and was like, this is what your lungs look like, and he's just trying to get him to stop smoking and stuff. He's like, it'd be cheaper. And then at one point he's got like this huge group of people, and then they all start like attacking Dante for, selling them the cigarettes. And then Valerie, which is Dante's girlfriend, comes in and she manages to fix it to where she got them out of the shop.
It turns out the guy was trying to get him to sell a certain gum because he's one of the...
Yeah, he's like the salesman or something for the gum for this, like the spokesperson or whatever. And then one of the people who was like turning against Dante was like, "Can I get a pack of cigarettes?"
Yes, and pretty much him and Valerie are talking, and like they're just talking. They're laying on the ground for some fucking reason. Like I said, they just have this weird talk, and she mentions how she dated 37 men, and had sex with 37 men, and he's like 37, and he says my girlfriend sucked 37 dicks. He said in a row, and I'm like, this is a customer.
Yeah, so they have been together for, I think, 7 months is what they said. And it seems like it might have just been like a few years after they graduated from high school, too.
Mm-hmm.
So as it goes on, like, Dante talks about how his ex-girlfriend, Caitlin?
I think it's Caitlin or something like that. It's just, he thought she was the one.
Yeah, even though she cheated on him multiple times when they were in high school.
Yeah, so...
But she got back into contact with him. But then he found out in the newspaper said that she was supposed to be getting married to her fiance.
Who was studying Asian design.
Yeah, or he was an Asian design or something.
Whatever it was.
Or something like that. Anyways, so he's upset because, you know, he loved Catherine, or Caitlin, or whatever her name is. And so as the day goes on, no one comes in to relieve Dante. Because someone was supposed to be there at 12, but then we find out that he's in Vermont. The person that was supposed to relieve Dante was in Vermont.
Yes.
And he's like, well, I had a hockey game at 2. So what they ended up doing was getting the hockey game to come to him, and they were playing it up on top of the store. Well, whoever it was just brought one ball, and they were playing against this one guy who he was like a customer, and I can't remember. I think he wanted a pack of cigarettes.
Well, either way, it's just he told him they were terrible at hockey, so comes in and shoots the goal, and it went into the storm sewer. And they were having this on top of the roof of the convenience store. And now we forgot to mention about Randall being in most of what we've been talking about. And Randall he's rude, but he's also honest. If you look at...
Yeah, there was a part where when he was at the video store, this woman comes in. She's like, "Hey, do you have this movie?" It was obviously a kids movie that her daughter really liked, and he's like, "Hold on, I'm about to call the distribution center now." And he calls the distribution center, and he just starts naming off all these different pornos. And the woman and her daughter are just standing there. He goes, "Oh, wait," and he looks at the woman and goes, "What was the name of that movie again?" After naming off like all these different pornos, like, oh my god, like...
Yeah, it was just getting worse and worse. And there was some parts, I think there was one part they were talking about Star Wars, and they were talking about how Randall says, in the fourth film, yeah, it was all the Death Star was all built and all right, and everyone was living there. But in the sixth one, it was not complete. And like, you gotta think about it, all those contractors, they were just innocent people. And I'm like,
oh yeah,
he makes a good point.
But then this guy who was a roofer, he steps in. He goes, but they know what they were getting into, because he said he got a call to do the roofing of this one house in a really nice town, or really nice part of town, and it turns out that the guy was like a mafia boss, and he decided not to take the job and handed it off to a friend of his. Well, his friend ended up getting shot by the mafia. He's like, see, I'm still alive.
Yeah, and it's hilarious. And yes, throughout the film, it's just workers just working at a convenience store. And yeah, most of the stuff they're doing would not happen because you would get fired, but some parts you can actually get away with. And half the time I'm like, how they're talking, I'm like, oh my god, this is how we used to talk at work.
Yeah, so there was a part where Randall was outside with, I think it was Jay and Silent Bob. And I think Jay came up to talk to him, and he said, hey, stop dealing in front of the shop. And then this guy comes up and he starts dealing drugs in front of the top, right in front of Dante, after Dante had told him, don't do that. I laughed. I thought it was funny.
It's fucking hilarious. And they go to a funeral. Randall knocks over the casket, and
the people were chasing them out of the funeral home.
Yeah, and I think a few minutes later, Randall wants to go to another theater store, get a movie, and it was a porno, and I'm like,
yeah. So, and then Caitlin, or whatever her name is, shows up at the convenience store, and she was like, "Oh, I'm not getting married to this guy. He proposed. I told him I needed to think about it. He wanted me to wear the ring. My mom saw it. She thought that I was getting married, and she put the announcement in the paper.
Yeah.
She goes, but I'm not getting. She's like, I'm not gonna get married to him. So earlier in the film, this old man had asked to use the bathroom.
And the funniest part is he keeps looks like he's ready to go back in there, but he keeps asking questions like, "Do you have the good toilet paper? Because the other one," and he gives him like a dirty magazine to read. And once they go to the funeral, they forgot he was in there. And it turns out around a certain time, the lights in the bathroom goes off because of the electricity.
Mm-hmm.
And because Dante tells Randall to watch the shop when he goes to get ready to go out with Caitlin. Caitlin comes back before he does. She goes back into the bathroom. Dante shows up, says, "Hey, where's..." And after Caitlin comes after the bathroom, she tells what they did back there, and Dante says, "I wasn't back there," and turns out Caitlin had sex with the old guy who died back there.
Yeah, the old guy had died in the bathroom.
Had a heart attack.
And she had sex with a dead body.
Yeah, and...
Oh, there was also a scene, which I don't remember this, but Dante got a fine for $500 for selling a 4-year-old cigarettes. But
it was Randall.
It was Randall that did it, but I don't remember a 4-year-old coming into the shop and buying cigarettes.
Oh yeah, she just came in and gone. That was it. Just it. But after that, they just talked. Randall's pretty much being Randall. Then he goes back to the video store. Jay and Silent Bob comes to get some stuff before they head to a party. And Jay is trying to be a dick, but he walks out. And now throughout the whole Kevin Smith films with Jay and Silent Bob will always give wisdom advice close to the end of every film or part of the film or whenever he wants to talk. He says, man, there's a lot of fine women out there. Not all of you bring you lasagna. Most of them just cheat on you. And I'm like,
What?
What? And I'm like, and if you think about that, how it relates today, and I'm like, holy shit.
Yeah.
It's like, it is true.
A little bit, yeah.
Because, think, maybe, I'm not talking about back then, I'm talking about today with men and women in the dating universe. Because, think, a lot of men and women don't date today.
That is true.
And it's not because, men are... we're cowards because we don't want to go up because we don't want to hear this. What do you mean you don't... What do you mean I look good today? I don't look good every day? I'm like, oh my god.
Well, it's not just that. Some men actually are kind of creepy, too.
Oh, that's true, too. Don't get me wrong. There are creeps out there. But here's also this. Some men are afraid to get married because, think, if they get married, they get the wrong woman who can actually use their kids against them in court, take most of their money. Not saying they don't deserve it. I'm just saying some that actually don't. Like, I had a friend who's a good dad, and he had to fight tooth and nail because the mom was really evil.
Mm-hmm.
And trust me, and the judges will agree with the mother.
Yeah, judges generally side with the mother in cases like this. Like, you have to as a father, they have to prove without a shadow of a doubt that the mom is not fit to be a parent.
And now,
in my case with my mom, my dad never showed up for the court hearing, so my mom got full custody of me.
yeah, now that's different though. Now let's just say now I hear what men want paternity tests if a woman gets pregnant because, and they say, well, why should we? And I'm like, well, if a woman had the habit of sleeping with different guys.
See, okay, I'm gonna be real with all of you. I fully support paternity tests, no matter what. Because then that way, because I mean, sometimes a child can come out looking different than you, because sometimes genes do skip generations.
Yeah.
So, like, you could be in a family with blonde hair, blue eyes, and then this kid pops out with red hair and green eyes. Turns out that this kid, just inherited like great grandparents' genes.
Yeah, they just want to know what's going on.
And then the dad's gonna be like, well, that's not my kid, and it's like, well, I've never slept with anybody. I believe paternity tests should be done like as early as possible,
and
no matter what. And that, I think that would save a lot of grief
and
with parents
and headaches, and also in-laws not being dicks, or to make sure that one lady's not trying to rope you into child support that's not really your kid.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not saying all are like that, but
like I 100% support paternity tests for every single newborn, whether you believe that your spouse cheated on you or not.
Yeah, I agree.
So that's just my take. So Rotten Tomatoes has given the critics out of 60 reviews, just 60. So this has less reviews than what Cruel Intentions had.
Yeah.
90%. Audience out of 250,000 plus ratings, 89%.
Yeah.
So it's got very good. So it says here, Dante Brian O'Halloran is called in to cover a shift at his New Jersey convenience store on his day off. His friend Randall, Jeff Anderson, helps him pass the time, neglecting his video store customers next door to hang out in the quick stop. The uneventful day is disrupted by news that one of Dante's ex-girlfriends has died. After attending her memorial service, Dante muses over staying with current girlfriend Veronica, Marilyn. I'm not even going to try to pronounce that last name. Or reuniting with ex Caitlin Lisa Spoon whatever. Okay, I'm not even going to try to pronounce that last name either. So it's got pretty good views.
I give it like a 7.
I'd probably give it like a 7 probably too.
But yeah.
But you can definitely tell, like, I don't know if you guys can really see this, but you can tell that it's black and white, and you can kind of tell that it's definitely low budget.
Yeah.
But you can find it on Pluto. I guess it's also in Paramount Plus.
But yeah, like I said, if you like it, put it down in the comments below. If you like the other Clerk sequels, put it down. Or if there's a Kevin Smith movie you want us to review, we'll do it.
Yeah. So next week's hint is going to be online, and I am excited to be talking about this movie.
Mm-hmm.
This is one of my favorite movies, so I'm excited to talk about it.
Yep.
So, just like, subscribe, comment below, like Mike said, and we will talk to you guys later. Bye.
Bye.